Nigeria, I do not believe it was created by God. I don't believe it. I believe that Elizabeth I got into a deal with the Ottoman Empire, and they had a deal concerning the Sudan. And those who care to buy the book, buy the book. It's written by a fellow called, the name of the book is The Martyrdom of Man. As far as Africa was concerned, two empires got together and decided that this land will go to the sons of Ishmael. It is self-evident. But let's not go there. This is not a political forum. This is a church. And the church has responsibilities to get right what man got wrong. She's the light of the world and the salt of the earth. That's important. I have no problem with people of any faith being in charge, but they must adhere to the constitution of we the people. And when a constitution purports to be of we the people and it is not, it's some soldiers who wrote it, you have to question why we obey.
All right, Barrister. The first statement by Paul Adefarasin, that was Paul Adefarasin. I don't know if you know him, he's a pastor. I agree with him that Nigeria was not created by God. Honestly, I agree with him in that first statement that Nigeria was not created by God. It was created by the British colonial masters in conjunction with other Nigerian leaders, especially Nigerian leaders from the northern extraction, specifically Ahmadu Bello and co. Barrister, what is your thoughts on that? And yeah, go ahead, please.
Well, when it comes to things associated with religion, like I said, my views are always far different. God does not create countries. I do not believe that God creates countries. So the question of saying whether Nigeria was created by God or not does not arise. Countries are created by men. Let's not give everything that man does.
Hold on, Barrister. Sorry to cut you short. Now, I think when he said God did not create Nigeria, I think it means the will of God. I'm trying to defend him now. I think I understand by God, you are absolutely right. God does not create any country. Human beings does. But what I mean, he didn't go into detail, but the way I understood it is, it wasn't the will when Nigeria was being created, it was not in the will of God. You know, God can permit something to be done, even though he does not, that is not his will. So that is what I think he meant. Please go ahead.
Like I said, God does not create countries. God creates, maybe we can say, spiritual entities. I mean, God creates, let's say, the Christianity that we practice. We can say, yes, God made it possible. But to go and say God did not create Nigeria, as if by implication there are countries that are created by God, that's where I have issue. God does not create any country. And then going forward to say that this country was created, handed over to children of Ishmael, I don't even know what he means by that, because it does not make sense. If you are talking of the biblical Ishmael as between the children of Abraham, Ishmael and Isaac, these religious entities, these were more or less ethnic entities. They were not religious.
Again, what he meant is this. Now, Ishmael are Muslims. And he was...
That is my problem with that. That is not a correct statement. In contemporary, the contemporary world, most of the people that can be traced to Ishmael are Muslims. That's
Yes.
correct. But when Abraham gave birth to Isaac and Ishmael, it was not a religion. They were not religious in that sense. As between Muslim and Christians, there was no Islam then.
No, hold on, Barrister. You are modeling it up. Hold on, Barrister.
Divide it ethnic from beginning and say that the Ishmael were Arabs. It's better to put it that way.
Yes, yes.
And then the Isaac were Israelis. So the rest of us, where do we come in? Is by association. Today, in today's world, is by association. When
now,
you are Christian,
now let me
you are associated.
Let me again follow. I'm trying to speak for him somehow, because I understood his statement in a different light from you, and that's why I'm trying to make it clearer about what he said. Now, when he said that, he said that in the context of how Nigeria was formed by the British colony. You and I agree. You are a historian by nature. You know how Nigeria was created. You and I have agreed. We talked about this. How Nigeria was actually partitioned. The entire policy was actually promulgated, but in favor of the North.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
That is what that is his evidence of whatever. That's why
instead of putting it that way and confusing his members, he should just say it plainly that this country was formed by the British and handed over to the Northern Muslim. Not every Muslim, Northern Muslim. That is just how, or particularly, not even the Northern Muslim, the Fulani,
yeah.
Extortion.
Extraction.
Extraction. That is what it actually was. So there's no need beating about the bush. Come up and say, look, the way this country was formed, it was formed and deliberately, with calculation, handed over to the Fulani extraction to rule, and for a very indefinite period, the way it was put together. The audience,
the thing is, my problem with I think you are right. My thing is, I think you are right. The man was not clear, but I understood that is actually where he was.
I too had an idea that maybe that's where he was.
Yes.
Maybe he want to come out and put an ethnic correlation to it. He just wanted to camouflage it that way. There's no need. This is well understood by virtually everybody. I don't think there is any credible person that will come up and dispute this thesis that the British formed Nigeria and deliberately handed it over to
the point we are trying to make is for the viewers is that if we all agree that the foundation was faulty, how Nigeria was formed was faulty, it obviously means that Nigeria as it is today cannot work well. We cannot achieve all we have been advocating to achieve in Nigeria or for Nigeria. Because the Bible says, if the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? And that is just it. The only way we can correct the foundation, correct the anomaly in the system, because the truth is that the North, and especially the Northern Fulanis, it has become a right. They feel entitled to Nigerian leadership. They feel, and they don't only feel entitled, they feel the right to the Nigeria's leadership, the ultimate leadership of Nigeria. And that is where we're having the problem. My problem is, honestly, we talked about this thing in the past with Barrister Manta. Both of us are on different paths, because I don't have issue. Barrister Manta has issue with having one side of the country ruling. Me, I don't have issue. I don't have issue with that. Look, let's even assume truly that, okay, the Hausa Fulanis are the one ruling from the foundation, and they will. Honestly, I don't have issue with that. I don't have issue with anyone that is ruling us. What or where that person came from. Honestly, I don't have issue with tribe. I'm a very detribalized person. I am somebody who just, I'm a detribalized person. I do not believe in whatever. I do so many things for people. I'm an Igbo man. I'm married to a Yoruba woman. I do so many things. I do so many things that have to do with charity. I do both for anybody, both Muslims. I have scholarship or whatever. I give scholarship to even Muslims or whatever. So I don't care. The most important thing is if you have a need, and I think I can be a vessel from God to meet that need. Of course, I will do that. I don't care. So that's me. And it's the same spirit. My spirit actually, the same spirit applies to the national leadership of Nigeria. Wherever you came from, or wherever you come from, I don't care. And if the Hausa Fulani that have ruled us for donkey years since the inception of this country, that have been so dominant, if they have done the right thing, if they had ruled us well, honestly, I don't have issue with that. Anybody can rule in perpetuity, but my problem is, are you doing the right thing? Do it the right way.
I will still have issue with that, even if they rule well. Because I want to live in a society where everybody can aspire to the highest position or office in the land, and whereby political manipulation or configuration of the country, certain people can never do that. I have issue with that. I will have issue with that. It is not about ethnic profiling. It's not about anything, but it is about the right of every Nigerian from any corner, or every citizen of a country from any corner, to aspire and be in a position to get to the highest office of that country. Because we need to build the country. We need to build confidence in the country. We need to build nationalism in the country. If I feel that from my little corner, I can never be president of Nigeria, I will not be happy with that. I will not be happy with that situation. So this thing has to be looked at in that place. It's not just about good governance. It's more than that. It's also about the possibility of every Nigerian from anywhere.
No, but let me
to rule the country.
Let me explain more to you. Now, if the system works well, why I said that I don't care where you come from, even if you are whatever, I want to do it in perpetuity, I don't care. But if the system works, even if a Hausa Fulani man is the president and the system is working well, and this Hausa Fulani man decides to do the right thing, you and I know that it is not even possible for the Hausa Fulani man to continue to win the election. You know that. Because there will be other credible candidates coming from other parts of the country contesting for this election that people will buy into. So because the Hausa Fulani man is doing the right thing as the president, he will allow the system organically to work. And if it works, it will eventually spontaneously, naturally, by default, it will just, the leadership will revolve round. So that is the point. My point is, I don't care who is there. What I desire is results. That's my point.
I care who is there as well as the result. And let me make this point. Everything that has been happening in Nigeria since independence is either a struggle or a protest against the kind of political leadership that Nigeria has. It's either a protest or a struggle against it.